Texas League Baseball is next. And a good evening, everybody. We'd like to welcome you into a live broadcast of Texas League Baseball. And now here is the voice of the San Antonio Missions, John Baker. Well, thank you, Bob, and a good evening, everybody. We'd like to welcome you to Nelson Wolff Stadium. It is Game 5 of our 6-game set between the visiting Corpus Christi Hooks and your San Antonio Missions. Well, tonight after the game, sit back, relax, and enjoy the best fireworks show courtesy of Dr. Pepper. So far, pretty good on that. Well, one last game tomorrow afternoon, 1:05 our first pitch as we wrap up this week. And so far, after that, San Antonio will head on the road. They go to Wichita to take on the Wichita Wind Surge in a 6-game set before returning on Tuesday night, June 9th, to take on the visiting Frisco Rough Riders. Go online now at samissions.com. Purchase and print your tickets from home. You can also follow us all season long with the Valley Live app and also here on YouTube Live. You can download those two apps on Google, and also if you are on Apple, it is Google as well, or the Apple Store, but whatever it is. But hey, it's been a long time since I've had an Apple iPhone, but now up to an Android iPhone. But anyway, pretty good on that. Well, anyway, tonight, cloudy conditions with rain showers in the forecast, and so far through the live stream, if it's raining a little bit, we are having light rain here at the ballpark. And so far, just going to be one of them evenings. There ain't nothing severe, so gotta say we are on the go for some Saturday night baseball here at Wolff Stadium, and pretty good on that. Well, you're into the San Antonio Missions pregame show. I'm joined in the booth by my partner and friend, Bob. How you doing there, Bob? I'm doing good. How are you, John? Doing good. Well, last night, a pretty good win for San Antonio as they finalized the final score by 7-6 in extra innings. And so far, San Antonio getting to the bottom half of the 11th inning, and they did it pretty good. The game was tied at 6-6, and then finally San Antonio struck a base hit to left field, and it brought in the winning run. And so far, pretty good on that. Well, gotta say, it looks like Wichita and Springfield are getting postponed once again tonight because of the rain. The rain through this entire week has been the big focal point of all the severe weather, and so far, well, the lightning and storms. It's just been one heck of a week, right, Bob? I gotta say, John, absolutely right. But evidently now Frisco and Arkansas being into a rain delay as well, and so far that'll put Northwest Arkansas and Tulsa, Amarillo, Midland, Corpus Christi, and San Antonio as the final 6 teams of the Saturday night baseball here in Texas League. I gotta say, Bob, absolutely right. And so far, if that rain touches Tulsa, they will be getting postponed as well, making it the final 4 ball clubs like Amarillo and Midland, Corpus Christi, and San Antonio as the final 4. But anyway, overcast conditions, and yes, we do have some rainy days ahead of us as getting into the broadcast. And so far, rainy days are just coming in as we have more of that coming in as well. Yeah, I gotta say, John, the thunderstorms are starting to return back into the forecast, and so far it's gonna be one of them evenings. I gotta say, Bob, absolutely right, but here in San Antonio, we are about set to go and take on the Corpus Christi Hooks tonight for Game 5 of our 6 games. and then it's off to Wichita after tomorrow. Missions will be back home on Tuesday, June 9th through the 14th. We take on the visiting Frisco Rough Riders. Frisco will return home after tomorrow. If they do play baseball tomorrow, then the Rough Riders will return back to Statesman's Park to take on the visiting Springfield Cardinals. So, gotta say, for a 6-game set, that looks to be really good right there. And so far, it will be an amazing week for next week. But all the more reason is we do have those rain and thunderstorms in the forecast. So, most definitely we'll keep our eyes on Wichita and anybody else in the Texas League. But yeah, so far tonight, Wichita and Springfield has been postponed, the doubleheader game, and I could already tell you one thing, that they will have to make up them games at some certain point when Wichita goes up against Springfield. And so far, it's going to be one of them things. But anyway, we're just about set to go for our first pitch of the ball game. And so far, hope you guys are really looking forward to the evening. And so far, let's hope all goes well in this one. But cloudy skies, rain showers around the area. And if it does rain a little bit here at the ballpark, or if it's a light rain, that's okay. We are still going to play baseball tonight. There is no lightning, no thunderstorm activity. I mean, that's really good. I mean, we keep that away, but have a light rain, that's okay. We can deal with that. But anyway, we're just about set to go here tonight, and this one brought to you in part by West Creek Trail Rides, our proud sponsor of the San Antonio Missions here in this one. Well, anyway, our final 6 teams about ready to converge play here tonight. And so far, I think Frisco and Arkansas will get postponed as well, along with Wichita and Springfield. So, well, hopefully we'll see the status on that. And it looks like they will be postponed. But yeah, one more game tomorrow, the last day of May, and so far. For this whole month, we've really enjoyed the baseball as being the second month in the season. And so far, we are down to our final 4 months of the Texas League season. And so far, starting tomorrow on June 1st, it will be it as we get ready to take on the last game against Corpus Christi. And then we're off to Wichita, and then we have Frisco, Corpus Christi, Arkansas, and Amarillo in the lineup for the month of June. And so far, July, Amarillo and Midland will wrap up the first half of the 2026 baseball season. And then Corpus Christi and Frisco will come to town for a 9-game homestand here in San Antonio to start up the second half of the regular season. San Antonio will head to Amarillo. Then after that, Springfield will head to San Antonio for the first time in the 2026 season between the Cardinals and the Missions. San Antonio will once again head to Frisco. This will be their 6th last games in Frisco against the Frisco Rough Riders. And then after that, Northwest Arkansas will go to San Antonio for 6 games. Then after that, San Antonio will head to Springfield to take on the Cardinals there at beautiful Blue River Stadium. And after that, we're down to the final teams. Midland will head to San Antonio for the last 6 times of the year. And then San Antonio will wrap it up in Amarillo to close out the regular season. But anyway, we're just about set to go. This has been the pregame show, and so far, hope you guys have been well and satisfied with this one. And so far, we are going to get underway. It will take you down to the ball game as we get things ready to rock and roll on this beautiful evening. Or actually, yeah, we're starting to have some noise things going on. But we're going to have a little technical difficulty, so we'll be right back on this one. Just stay tuned as we get going here tonight for this fifth game. All right, welcome you back into the broadcast as we get things ready to go on this Saturday night. As we take you down on the field as the fifth game is fixing to start against Corpus Christi. And so far, yep, Mission's back in their beautiful home white uniforms, nicely cleaned. Corpus Christi in their road grays with blue and royal blue caps and stuff, which reminds me back of when they had their road look and logos and uniforms and all the above. Right-hander Andrew Dahlquist is getting on the mound for San Antonio here tonight as he'll do the pitching. It's a four-seam, two-seam curveball, slider, and a changeup. And so far, just about set to go. Well, number 82, that is the second baseman Riley Unroe fixing to get ready to go. And we're going to have some nighttime baseball one more time in the homestand, and away we go. And that is the first pitch in for a cold strike, and we are underway. We're 7:10, so not too shabby on the start time, but most evidently we are live and on the air here on the show, taking on Corpus Christi. That's ground ball straight away up to the shortstop, right there into first, and that is the one way of getting it going here tonight for the first down. Corpus Christi starting lineups: Unroe, Spence, and Flores, Austin, Bias, Whitaker, Pratt, Powell, and Janek will round it out for Corpus Christi here in the lineup here for tonight's Game 5. Center fielder Lucas Spence coming in. Starting to see some light rain here at the ballpark, but not too terrible. Cloudy skies, but that's rarely uncommon for us to have, but thunderstorms will move back in as we are up in Wichita next week. Yeah, I gotta say, John, the weather calling for those storms as we go into next week. That one's going to be in for a strike. The count now 1-1. Well, gotta say, I don't know what Springfield and Wichita will do, but I bet you $100 it will be them playing each other in a doubleheader game in the near future. I gotta say, John, it might come down to that. Well, probably. But anyway, Springfield taking on Wichita one more time before they're on the road to Frisco, and then their next homestand going up against Amarillo. Here's a 1-2. High in the air, straight away, up to right field. Carpathios getting there will make the play, and that's out number 2.
Batting third, first baseman, number 99.
Well, that'll bring up the first baseman, Arturo Flores. Pretty good night for him last night for Corpus Christi. And so far, a pretty good time that we've actually had during this time with our next door neighbor. Yeah, I gotta say, Corpus Christi, a real good ball club, and so far Houston Astros affiliation. So far, San Antonio being a proud Padres organization. No balls, so 2 strikes to count now here to Arturo Flores. That one is going to be fouled. The count now at 0-2. Well, little rain doesn't hurt anybody here at the ballpark as much needed grass getting some much needed water. And that right there is a called third strike, and we end the half inning. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for Corpus Christi. We head down to the bottom of the first, and it's no score through half of 1. So we're just about set to go as the starter for Corpus Christi will be on the mound. when we come back. West Creek Trail Rides are proud sponsor of San Antonio Missions Baseball. For more, call 210-616-6585 to book your reservation or go online at www.westcreektrailrides.com. Also, don't forget, Bob, there is another number, 210-800-3335. Give Benji Hernandez a call. Well, we're about set to go for the bottom of the first inning right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Right-hander Jose Fleury coming in as he comes to pitch for Corpus Christi here tonight. Four-seam changeup, a slider, a curveball, and a two-seam getting in for the Corpus Christi Hooks here tonight. The shortstop, Clay Dungan, getting set to go. We're leading off the bottom of the first inning for San Antonio. And here's the pitch, and that is a outside ball. The count now 1-0. On the home side, coming in underway for San Antonio. 1 ball and no strikes to pitch. Swing and a miss. The count now 1-1. Here's the pitch. And swing and a miss. The changeup will get him down for a strike, and the count now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one high and outside. It's count now even 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. The pitch. Ground ball straight away to first, and he'll step on the bag. Easy play out at first, and there's 1 down. San Antonio's starting lineups, Dungan, Roberts, and Salas will lead it off. Sanabria, Carpathios, Fabian Middle. Vertigo, Murphy, and Castagnon will round it out for the Missions here tonight. Boy, so far Amarillo leading Midland by a run. It's 1-0, top of the second inning there at Franco Park, home of the Midland Rockhounds. Rockhounds and San Antonio don't see each other until the month of July as we get ready to conclude the first half of the regular season. As the count now 0-2, as that will be no balls and 2 strikes to count. So far, pretty good. Here's the pitch. That one outside as the count now 1-2. Boy, he dusted him off the plate for a little bit. But evidently, if you are watching from Springfield, Missouri, that's good, because evidently the rain there and the thunderstorm activity is just not letting up for the Cardinals and Wichita affiliates, but anyway, not really good up there. That's going to be right there. Ethan Salas coasting the second, and he's got a 2-out double, and that's a double meat cheeseburger coupon courtesy of the catcher, Ethan Salas. First baseman, Romeo Sanabria. Getting ready to go. And the pitch is right there and in for a cold strike. Gets the count now 0-1. Got a pretty good medium-sized crowd here tonight here at the ball game. Evidently with weather looking gray and a little bit of rain, a light rain starting to fall here at the ballpark, but keeping eyes on the weather and the radar just to make sure nothing sneaks up on us, because you know how severe weather is. Oh yeah, we know how severe weather is. It's kind of crazy when we all look at it, but most evidently we keep it at close tabs just to keep everybody safe, especially Tuesday night when we started the homestand. Well, no runs on a hit, no errors, and one left on for San Antonio as we go to the second inning. And it's no score, 3-1. We're back here as Trevor Austin gets things going for the top half of the second inning. For Corpus Christi, it's no score, 3-1. About set to go for the top half of the second inning for Corpus Christi right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Trevor Austin coming in as we get set to go for inning number 2. 4, 5, and 6 to up against Andrew Dahlquist. The pitch is downstairs, and the count now is 1 ball and no strikes. Well, if you're a fan of basketball, which I clearly am not, San Antonio Spurs taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Game 7 of the conference finals, I should say. Why, fans just going crazy. I mean, you look on Facebook, you see fans just getting on top of cars and getting into fist fights. I mean, it's a riot going on. Yeah, I gotta say, John, that is kind of crazy when you see fans doing that. Because evidently the San Antonio Spurs hasn't won any championship since, 2008, 2009? I wish I could tell you the truth about that, Bob, but I don't really keep up with that. Well, me neither. Not really a basketball guy, but love baseball because baseball is a pretty good sport for us to have, for sure. 2-2 offering, swing and a miss. They got him chasing outside, and that is out number 1. Second strikeout for Andrew Dahlquist as he gets the strikeout on the hill for San Antonio. And so far, pretty good. Gotta say, kind of crazy when you see those fans acting the way they act out at a Spurs game. And so far, when you see them jumping up on the cars and, people are trying to go home for the night, it's kind of crazy when we all look at it. Yeah, and them crazy fans are disturbing the peace, and it ought to be them getting excited over that. Yeah, for sure. Here's a 1-0. That one, it's ground ball straight away. Castañon gets it. Throw down to first to Sanabria. By a footstep, he gets his man out for out number 2. But evidently, everybody that was caught on Facebook, well, apparently they'll get cited. Because evidently, you're causing a riot and everybody's trying to go home after the basketball game. And now here is Ty Whitaker, and that's going to be lofted high in the air straight away up to center field as Roberts will take that himself, and he will tell Murphy to back off, so that will be good as well as 2. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for Corpus Christi as we head now to the bottom half of the second. And it is still no score through 2.5. Brandon Carpathios will lead it off for San Antonio when we get ready to go. The Missions Baseball Network. Now set to go for the bottom half of the second inning. Right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Braden Carpathia set to go, 5-6-7 against the Corpus Christi starter, Jose Fleury. As that one is outside, it's count now 1 ball and no strikes. Northwest Arkansas 1-0 against the Tulsa Drillers. One so far, it looked like the Arkansas Travelers about ready to take on the Frisco Rough Riders. They were really delayed just getting into the ball game here tonight. You know, their scheduled time was 6:05. Now they have to push it to 7:30. That is right there. Liner straight away, and that is through for an infield single. Boy, so far, that will be that decision of a base hit. But anyway, pretty good on there as that will be in for a strike. The count now 0-1 to the designated hitter, Albert Fabian. Getting going here. Well, we'll have 8 ball clubs playing tonight, which that's a miracle right there. High in the air, straight away out in foul grounds. And that is out. Well, I should say no balls and 2 strikes, but that right there, the second for 1, and they relay it in time, and they're 2 down. That is a 3-6-5 double play as Fabian will ground into that one. And so far, just a bad thing when you all look at it, but well, evidently, I guess that is what it is. Here's Rosemond Verdugo now, the third baseman. As he'll take that one in for a cold strike. It's the count now 0-1. Verdugo, the third baseman here, as he comes up to the plate now for San Antonio. No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be right up the middle through for the center field base hit. Pretty good right there, right, Bob? Got to say, John, absolutely right. It's starting to turn out to be a pretty good one. San Antonio just has to get some runs in to score. Now here's left fielder Kai Murphy as he comes in and set to go here. Now, when you said one more time there, John, you know, it's one more night game here for this week. That is for sure. Up to the second base area, as that will do for the half inning. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left on for San Antonio as we head to the third, and it is no score through 2. Carneal Pratt, Powell, and Janek will get things ready to rock and roll for the third inning for Corpus Christi. And it's no score through 2. Now set to go for the third inning right now, the Missions Baseball Network. Neil Pratt getting ready to go as we start up the third inning here tonight in San Antonio, 7-8-9. Due up against Andrew Dahlquist, the starter for the Missions. Pitch is fouled, and the count now at 0-1. Boy, a beautiful night there in Midland. What you say, Bob? I gotta say, between the Sod Poodles and Rockhounds, nice sunny evening as well.
Ball one.
And that's going to be right there. That will be a pitch clock violation called for the ball. It's 1-1. Here's the pitch. That one is a high pop-up straight away. And that is foul. Well, so far, the rain is starting to come down a little bit heavier, but most evidently, we're still keeping eyes on all the weather. That one's going to be fouled. The count now at 1-2. Top of the third inning. No score to the point for Neil Pratt. And right there, that's out number one as Dahlquist getting a backwards K. The third strikeout for him on the hill for San Antonio. Caden Powell coming in now, as that's lofted high in the air straight away. And that is out number two.
Batting ninth, catcher, number 84.
Well, that'll bring up the catcher for Corpus Christi, Walker Janek. As he gets ready to go, and here's the pitch. And that is in for a cold strike. Gets the count now 0-1. Janek averages the .213 marker over an opposition of 300, 9 home runs, and 12 RBIs for Corpus Christi. High in the air straight away. And he brought it in. That ends the half inning as Rosemond Verdugo gets out there. And one of the fans tried to get it, but he told them, nah, that ball is his. And that will conclude the half inning. So no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for San Antonio or for Corpus Christi. We now head for the bottom of the third for San Antonio. It's no score through 3.5. Well, just about set to go for the bottom of the third right now for the Missions Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob. Marcos Castañon set to go as we lead it off 9-1-2 against Jose Fleury. As that is taken in for a strike, it's the count now 0-1. No balls and a strike to Castañon. As that swing and a miss, the count now 0-2. We do apologize from the previous half inning. You're thinking San Antonio was on the top half of the batting order, but most evidently for the score, or what I'm trying to say is switch around the teams on your scoreboard. Home team on top and the visiting team on the bottom. But anyway, that's just what I'm trying to tell you. No balls, one strike. Here's the pitch, and that is outside. It's the count now 1-1. Bottom of the third, still a light rain coming down here at the ballpark. And that is right there, and that is foul. The count now 1-2.
Nope.
And that is outside. The count now 2-2. Hopefully we don't have any rain delay of any kind, but most evidently keeping eyes and ears on the Weather Channel. And that one will miss outside. Center fielder Kai Roberts coming in. A 3-2 full count now to the shortstop Clay Dungan. And here's the pitch. That one fouled off, and the count now at 3-2, still hanging on. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and he loses it right there. And that is out number 2. Center fielder number 2. Kai Roberts coming in now for the Missions. It's ready to go, and here's the windup and the pitch. That one is high and inside, but they're going to contest that. And, yep, it will be overcalled, so there we go. 1 ball, no strikes. Jeff Andrews not paying attention, but most evidently, that one was high outside the zone. And he was calling that a strike, which that was incorrect. 1 ball, 1 strike to the count now to Roberts, and here's the pitch to him. That one is foul, and the count now 1-2. Well, it could be another 1-2-3 inning for San Antonio here in this one. That one is out of play. The count now 1-2. 1-2, here's the pitch. Still hanging on, foul. One and two, one more time. And that one is outside. It's count now 2-2. And that will load it up at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Boy, not a lot of fans in that section right there. And so far, bet you they just come tomorrow when it's nicely clear or something like that. But anyway, that will pretty much do it for the half inning. And no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody on for San Antonio as we head to the 4th inning on this Saturday evening. And it is no score through 3. So we'll be right back here at the ballpark as Riley Unroe, Spencer Flores will lead it off for Corpus Christi when we come back. About set to go for the bottom half or top half of the fourth inning right now. The Missions Baseball Network. Riley Unrose set ready to go for the top half of the fourth inning for Corpus Christi here tonight. As the starter Andrew Dahlquist getting in and throws in his first pitch in for a strike. It's the count now 0-1. No balls and a strike. And here's the delivery, and that is fouled in the way. The count now at 0-2. Well, would say 10 more games of the year between the two ball clubs against Corpus Christi and San Antonio. Got to say, kind of sad as we say goodbye to them in the second half after the 3-game set against these two ball clubs. 3-0-2. And that is fouled in the way. The count now 0-2. July 17th through the 19th will be that last 3-game set. Last ever on the 19th, which that's on a Sunday. That one is high in the air, straight away. And that is up to center field as Roberts will take it himself. And that is out number 1. Well, the batter now, center fielder Lucas Spence coming in. Andrew Dahlquist now at 29. Here is the pitch. And that is in for a strike. It's the count now at 0-1. Corpus Christi and San Antonio, 10 games left this year. 1 tomorrow, and so far as we look at it, we take on Wichita and Frisco next 2 weeks, and then we'll head to Corpus Christi. Start a 12-game road series between the Corpus Christi Hooks and Arkansas Travelers. That one is found. The count now 0-2. Missions return home to take on the Amarillo Sod Poodles in a last of the 6-game first half. And then head to Midland to close it out. And then 4 days off. We'll be back on Friday, July 17th through the 19th, taking on Corpus Christi. And then 6 against the Frisco Rough Riders. Rough Riders will have 12 more games against San Antonio. Which that'd be pretty good. That one is down and in. The count now 1-0. Boy, we don't go to Midland anymore during the second half. After the first half concludes, we'll head home and no more going to Midland for the year. 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 4th inning for Corpus Christi. And that one is fouled. The count now 1-2. One more time, it could be another 3 up, 3 down. And getting going. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. They got him. Blew it right by him for the out, and that is how the inning comes to an end. No runs hit to Rivers and nobody left on as we go 4.5. Still no score. So we're about ready to go as Ethan Salas, the catcher, will get things ready to go for the bottom half of the 4th for San Antonio. No score through 4.5. Well, about set to go for the bottom of the fourth right now, the Missions Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob. The catcher, Ethan Salas, coming in as we start at the home half of the fourth for San Antonio. As that is in for a cold strike, gets the count now at 0-1. Go ahead and give you some scores here, and all we know is San Antonio, Corpus Christi scoreless through 3 innings already. Already 4.5. Now bottom half of the fourth for the Missions. Amarillo leading it against Midland 3-1. Sod Poodles and Rockhounds. Northwest Arkansas leading 2-1 against Tulsa. Top of the second for Frisco there at All-American Ballpark in North Little Rock, Arkansas. Taking on the Arkansas Travelers. No score to the point of that ball game. Top of the second inning, and that's going to be right there. Line drive up the left field, through for a hit. And so far, San Antonio doing everything they can to level the playing field by getting a run in to score. And so far, pretty good on that. Gotta say, John, they keep grounding out to these outs, and so far, it's not doing too good in their favor, but they really need to get something going, despite the fact of getting these outs. And so far, it's been 3 up, 3 down. And so far, just not a pretty good few innings, as we see about 4.5 of zeros through the first 4.5 innings worth of play here tonight for both San Antonio and Corpus Christi. But hopefully one team in tonight will win it. Now, like last night, San Antonio win by the final score of 7-6 through 11 innings. Jose Fleury wearing a 53 jersey. And evidently, if you know who Don Scott Drysdale was, he was a former Los Angeles Dodger who played for Los Angeles at the time. Now 3 balls and a strike to Romeo Sanabria. Isn't that where Herbie got his number? Oh, that is for sure. How did you know about that? Well, just took an educated guess, but evidently Herbie was a Volkswagen Beetle of 1963. Did you ever drive one of those type of cars there, Bob? Oh, yeah. I used to have one of those. My wife used to have one, and basically, you know, hers was a light blue color, like what you see on the Corpus Christi Hooks jersey. And, well, so far, mine was the white one, which I chose that color because it kind of reminded me of Herbie. Wow. So, let me get this straight. You used to own a car like that? What was it like? Well, when you drive it, it's like a normal stick shift, you know. You put it in the gear, you know. It's a really good car. I mean, I hope one of these days when you get down the road, you can get a car like that and you can own it, and pretty good on that. For sure. I would love to own a car like that. Also, a Dodge Ram 1500. Have you ever drove one of those before? I have one in my driveway at the house. And so far, pretty good on top of that. Yeah. Well, what color is it? Red. Dang. Well, you trying to be a tornado wrangler from Oklahoma, huh? Yeah, I love that film. Twisters is a pretty good film. Well, I mean, in many cases there, John, I hope you get up to Oklahoma and one of these days visit your friend Duncan up there, right? Yeah. Yeah, right there. That's a swing and a miss. The count now 0-2. Runner at first, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning for the Missions. And that's downstairs, and the count now at 1-2. And here's the runner, and that is the inning over. And so far, the runner at first tried to go, but Most evidently couldn't get up with it. Well, we head now to the top half of the fifth inning. It's no run on a hit, no errors, and one left on for San Antonio. Fifth inning coming up here tonight, and still no score. So about set to go as Trevor Austin will get things ready to rock and roll here tonight as we get ready for the fifth inning of Missions Baseball next here on Country Legends KKYX here in the San Antonio Missions area. Now set for the fifth inning for Corpus Christi right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Fifth inning set to go. This proud broadcast brought to you in part by West Creek Trail Rides. Location at 12230 West Creek Oaks Drive, San Antonio, Texas, here in this area. Leading it off for the top of the fifth inning is Trevor Hauber. Trevor Austin, I should say, as he comes in. We'll take a ball outside as the count now 1-0. We'll lead off the fifth inning for Corpus Christi. Do apologize, Trevor. Didn't mean to call you Trevor Hauber, but most evidently we do have a guy by the name of Trevor Hauber. He is hopefully on the Corpus Christi lineup here tonight. And that is right there through for a hit. And that is a no-out single, as that will evidently close out the no-hit. Here is Luis Baez. as he takes a strike inside as the count now 0-1 is over. One ground out by Baez. Boy, still no score here in this ball game. We're up to the 5th inning now as now 5, 6, 7 due up for Corpus Christi. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. They got him. And there's one down as Dahlquist doing a pretty good, exceptional job mowing down his hitters. In now, Ty Whitaker. As he comes in and takes a strike inside as the count now 0-1. No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. And that one fouled in the way. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. And swing and a miss. Got him. 6 strikeout for Dahlquist. So far, pretty good. 4 more for a free breakfast on the bun, courtesy of Whataburger. You get a breakfast on the bun with your choice of sausage or bacon. So far, pretty good. Arnel Pratt having a talk with the home plate umpire, Jeff Andrews. Friendly conversations, always good thing. And the pitch is right there and in for a strike. It's the count now at 0-1. No balls and a strike here as Pratt comes in and takes that one high and outside, and that'll be an 0-2 count now. Little rain tonight in the ballpark. So far, scoreless ball game through this 5th inning. And that is a foul ball, still hanging on at no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 one more time. And that one goes foul. Still hanging on. Boy, he's fouling them off like nothing else, but evidently trying to get something to well hit. The pitch. And that one's going to be right there. Ground ball straight away up to the first base area. And they'll get them. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left for Corpus Christi. We head for the bottom of the 5th, and it's still no score. So we'll lead it off with third baseman Rosemond Verdugo as he'll get in and get his time on the plate for San Antonio. Now set to go for the bottom of the fifth right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob. We're just about set. Rosemont Verdugo getting going as he'll take a ball outside as the countdown 1-0. Dabrowski and Leach, a lefty and a righty, getting loose in the Hooks bullpen. So far, still a light rain coming down here at the ballpark, which it ain't too terrible. Just glad it's not anything like what we saw on Tuesday with tornado warnings and lightning like you've never seen before. That one is a swing and a miss. The count now at 1-2 strikes. Don't forget that Season 3 of Picani premieres this fall right here at the Baker J Studios, part of J. Baker Vlogs. So far, the new season will have 26 episodes with a renewed fourth season. And that slider is downstairs. The count now 3-2 strikes. So after baseball season, you're working on that, huh? I am. I absolutely love a horse TV show. Used to have a dog TV show when it came to Love's new series. And we haven't seen anything or developed anything Love's new series related after 2 years of her series cancellation. Little left fielder Kai Murphy is 0 for 1 at ground down. Well, speaking about Love, well, now her name is Stella there, Bob. Well, have you heard any word from her since you last saw her? No. So that one right there is high fly in the air straight away, and that's going to get down through for a base hit. Murphy headed to second, and he's got a 1-out double. But I tell you one thing, Bob, it's kind of sad when we all look at it that most evidently Love's new series was a pretty good TV show, you know. Yeah, I gotta say, John, it's kind of sad when we saw those episodes. April 4th, 2025 was the last and final season. Well, especially when you did the resignation video. And so far, just hard when you have to give up a TV show just like that. That one is right there. That's a liner straight away, and that is through for a hit. Well, San Antonio now first and third, one away with Castagnon getting on base. Clay Duncan getting ready to go. And that's going to do for the starter here tonight for Corpus Christi. The manager is out of the dugout. Not the bullpen. I was going to say the bullpen, but most evidently I'd be incorrect for saying that. Left-hander Trey Dabrowski coming in. There's a 4-seam curveball changeup and a 2-seam fastball. Evidently, our former announcer on the PA system, Alex Minanek, we wish him the best of luck in his retirement. And so far, off to bigger and better things, like everybody is. Duncan is 0 for 2 in this ball game. Here's the pitch, and that one is high and outside. It's 1-1. Boy, Amarillo leading a run against Midland. It's 3-2. Gotta say, so far, Sod Poodle's doing really good in the season. They tie up against the Frisco Rough Riders. Midland a game and a half between the two ball clubs. And that is in for a strike. The count now 2-2. Corpus Christi just a game and a half against Midland. Arkansas and Tulsa tied in a foot race at 29 even. Northwest Arkansas being the meet in the middle with 22 and 26. Wichita 21 even against Springfield. and they'll be put in forward to a tie against the Cardinals. Ty Roberts, the center fielder, getting ready to go. And the pitch is right there and out of play. The count now 0-1. Little bit of haziness there in downtown San Antonio as we look at it. Nighttime beginning to come on, and so far the top of those skyscrapers starting to see a little dense fog coming in. Yeah, I gotta say, John, it's getting a little bit of light rain here. But most evidently, this is the only thing we got in the forecast for any rain. Well, as of now, I mean, Tuesday through next week when we're up in Wichita, that will definitely be a changing story. But evidently, I think the weather will be pretty good, or not up there in Wichita, but we'll see. Well, we go to the sixth inning as no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on for San Antonio as we head to the top half of the sixth inning. And it is still no score as we head for the top half for Corpus Christi. Well, anyway, we're showing you the halfway point of this ball game broadcast, and so far we always do that every game, whether home or away. This is what we do. Pretty good hits, but most evidently still no score as we go to the top half of the sixth. And we give you your line look right now as you see all the zeros. And so far the hits have been coming in bunches, but not too many for Corpus Christi. San Antonio, 6 hits. Corpus Christi, 1 hit. And anyway, that'll bring in Caden Powell as he'll come in. But first, we will go to commercial message as we go through. Getting ready next for the 6th inning. Sixth inning for Corpus Christi right now, the Missions Baseball Network. Caden Powell getting ready to go as we get set to go. Manager out of the dugout now as he'll approach the mound. And so far, we are going to have a pitching change for San Antonio.
Now pitching.
Logan Gillespie, a right-handed reliever, will get on the mound for San Antonio here in this one with the ERA 257, 250 over a 300 average. And so far, pretty good. As I said before, that these two teams are 10 games left of the season for meeting each other. Caden Powell coming in, and here's the pitch to him as Logan Gillespie will come in for the relief position for San Antonio. First pitch in is called for a strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1, and that's a swing and a miss. The count now at 0-2. Still a little light rain falling here at the ballpark, but nothing in the way of severe weather. And right there, called third strike. And that is out number one. Walker Janek coming in now for Corpus Christi. He's the catcher. Wind up and the pitch. And that is in for a strike. The count now 0-1. As I said before, Season 3 will have 26 new episodes with a renewed fourth season. And after that, a movie. You're planning doing a movie? I am. That is right there. The count now 0-2. Don't forget, Heartland will return this fall along with Picani. Heartland is now up to its 20th season in running for the first Alberta Canada series. Alberta Canada, but now 1-2 the countdown. Call overturned. But most evidently thought that was a called third strike, but most evidently now they called it a ball. That one high flying in the air, out of play foul, and the count now at 1-2. Well, the show is practically filmed in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Here is the 1-2 delivery, and that is outside. The count now 2-2. Hudson and many more other places out there. Toronto, home of the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays, a big major league farm system out there, and that is going to be right there. And out number 2.
Number 82.
And that is going to bring in the second baseman Riley Unruh. Oof. Do correct me in a little bit. Here is the pitch, and it's ready to go. Yeah, that one is in, and the count now 0-1. Toronto went up today against the Orioles. Pretty good on that, as boy, Orioles are 27-32. Blue Jays at 29-30. But anyway, play made as that will end the half inning. So another 1-2-3 inning. The side retired. And San Antonio, Mission, Salas, Sanabria, and Carpathios will be called up as we get ready to go here in the bottom of the sixth inning. So back here for more baseball as we get ready for the bottom of the sixth coming up next. About set to go for the bottom half of the sixth inning right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Ethan Salas getting ready to go. 2 for 2 of the evening. Still a scoreless ball game. Carlson and Maldonado coming in as Hook's bullpen will still have activity going. And so far, pretty good on this one as now entering into the bottom of the sixth inning. Still a no-score ball game. Forgive me for my little stutteriness, but I've been dealing with this for the past 6 years.
Ball.
And that is downstairs. The count now 1-2. 10 games for Corpus Christi. And yeah, so far, Frisco will have at least a lot. You know, they still have 16 games left with San Antonio this year. Romeo Sanabria 0 for 2 and 2 strikeouts. Amarillo will say has 12 games with San Antonio.
Oh, that pitch is out.
Or should I say about 16 as we all look at it, looking at the schedule. But most evidently, San Antonio doesn't go to Amarillo till the end of the year. And the change up and the count now 1-2, but evidently Water Ridge Field in downtown Amarillo awaits for San Antonio's return. Evidently the San Antonio Missions created the Amarillo Sod Poodles. And so far, just absolutely love how those two teams converge. It's really fun to watch. Gotta say, John, absolutely. It's really good when you see these two teams go head-to-head in a one-on-one competition. And here he is, Braden Carpathios, as he comes in. We'll take that one inside for a ball. The count now 1-0. So far, Northwest Arkansas and, well, Springfield. We'll get to them in just a minute. We'll talk about Northwest Arkansas, only 6 games against San Antonio this year here in the ballpark. 12 games with Springfield. But evidently, we hope and pray that 2027 will be a whole lot better. We'd have all North Division teams coming to San Antonio this next season, hopefully. Arkansas and Tulsa should come to San Antonio. They haven't been in San Antonio since 2022. Right there, and that is the inning, as that will be it. And for that, the side is retired. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for San Antonio. 7th inning coming up. No score through 6. So we'll have Lucas Spence as he gets ready to go as we start up the 7th inning for Corpus Christi. Now set to go for the 7th inning for Corpus Christi, right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Lucas Spence getting ready to go. Welcome you back to the San Antonio Missions Baseball here tonight. As we get set for the 7th inning, still a scoreless ball game as we exited now the 7 innings. And boy, does it seem like the house is getting empty there, Bob? I gotta say, it does look like it a little bit. Fans going home, I guess, are getting dry after the rain coming down. Well, hey, it's okay. I mean, a little water ain't gonna hurt you, but a lot would. Oh, ha ha, very funny there, John. I'm just kidding. In case you go swimming with your clothes on. Hey, did you ever push your dad in a swimming pool with his clothes on? Yeah, I wanted to. 1-2. And that one is out of play, foul. But yeah, not a full house tonight for a Saturday night, but most evidently we're having light rain here tonight. Light rain will come to an end, but early Sunday morning it will be overcast. Don't forget, we'll wrap up the series tomorrow afternoon at 1:05, our first pitch against Corpus Christi. Oaks fans will get ready for the arrival of Corpus Christi back to Bayfront Park. They take on the Arkansas Travelers. Lucky Dogs. Yeah, we're up in Wichita right after tomorrow's game. Well, that is for sure there, Bob. Gonna be a one-day road trip, and then we're there for 6 days straight. And after that, we'll head home and take on the visiting Texas Rangers affiliate, the Frisco Rough Riders. No balls and 1 strike. Here's a pitch, swing and a miss. The count now at 0-2. Well, so far, if you're wondering which teams are out and about here in this next week, Midland is at Northwest Arkansas. San Antonio is in Wichita. Frisco is taking on Springfield there at Statesman's Park. Arkansas and Corpus Christi, and Amarillo taking on the Tulsa Drillers. 5-on-5, South versus North Battle Royale. And that is out number 2, as that will be a 2 up, 2 down here in this half inning. And now here is Trevor Austin as he comes in, the third baseman, 1 for 2. A single he had last time up. Wind up and a pitch, and that's going to be high flying in the air straight away. Right fielder Carpathios will take it himself, and that ends the inning. Well, no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for Corpus Christi. Time for the 7th inning stretch here at the ball game. No score. Well, enjoy the 7th inning stretch. Albert Fabian will be due up next for the San Antonio Missions when we come back. Well, hope you've enjoyed your seventh inning stretch. Now it's time to return you back to the ballpark for the San Antonio seventh inning right here in the Missions Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob. Albert Fabian getting set to go as we lead it off in the seventh inning. Trey Dombrowski now pitching for Corpus Christi will come in. Count now 0-1 to the 6-hole batter designated hitter, Albert Fabian. That's a high pop-up. The third baseman will get under it, will make the play, and that is out number one.
Now batting, third baseman.
That'll bring up the hot corner man, Rosemond Verdugo. 1 for 2 of this ball game. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, and the count now 0-1. Do you think fans are getting pretty restless here, Bob? Well, we got to say, a lot of zeros. Still a good chance that San Antonio could try to get in and try to win this one. That's going to be right there. Line drive up to first, going to second. Verdugo, he has a stand-up one-out double. And just tell you one thing, 7th hit for San Antonio tonight, but still trying to get some base hits going and some runs in the score, but so far we have not seen any runs at all in this broad game. Broad game? Where you come up with that there, Bob? It's called a broadcast. Oh, okay. I mean, you could call it a broad game if you want to. I mean, but I'd rather call it a broadcast. Okay, well, we both have different opinions about that. You're funny. Left fielder is Kai Murphy, 1 for 2 double. Amarillo leading 4-2 against Midland there at Franco Park. Tied ball game at Tulsa against Northwest Arkansas. Well, the Arkansas Travelers giving Frisco a whooping. A 6-0 ball game there at All-American Ballpark in North Little Rock, Arkansas. Arkansas Travelers 6, Frisco Rough Riders nothing. 1 ball and 2 strikes a count, and that's going to be outside. The count now 2-2. No scores here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Runner in scoring position there at second. And here's the pitch. That's going to be right there. Line drive, and that is through for a hit. Here comes the runner, and it's safely across, and he'll score in. And finally, San Antonio on the board. It's 1-0. Man, I bet that'll drive the Corpus Christi dugout into a feeding frenzy. I think you're right there, Bob, and sometimes you got to really just get after it when you're a starting pitcher or a starting batter or whatever you may be. Marcos Castañon, the second baseman, is 1 for 2 single. Series finale tomorrow against these two ball clubs. And we're off to Wichita and then Frisco after we get back. Frisco Rough Riders will be here in San Antonio waiting for that 6-game set. And it'll be 12 games on the road. We head to Corpus Christi for our one and only 6-game road trip there to Bayfront Park. And we head to Arkansas right after that, take on the Arkansas Travelers. Here's a 1-2. That one's ground ball straight away. The second for 1. They relay it in time, and that will end the half inning. But Kai Murphy getting the 1 run in there on this base hit. And we head to the 8th back. Bounce at the go for the top half of the 8th inning, right now on the Missions Baseball Network. 1-0 ball game, top of the 8th as we bring you back here at the ballpark. 5-6-7 due up against the Logan Gillespie. Is set for the final 6 outs for Corpus Christi here tonight. That is the count now, 0-1. No balls and 1 strike the count, and here's the pitch.
Inside.
And that is outside the count now at 1-1. San Antonio 1-0. Top half of the 8th inning here in San Antonio. That one is high fly in the air, straight away. Up to left center is Roberts as he'll make the play, calling off Murphy. And that is 1 down.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 24.
Well, that'll bring up the catcher, Ty Whitaker. Whitaker coming in is set to go here for Corpus Christi.
Ball.
And that is a 12-inch curve. The count now at 1-0. One ball and no strikes to count now to Ty. And that's a swing and a miss. The count now at 1-1. Well, the rain looks like it's finally starting to let up after all this time, but most evidently it coming down as a little bit of a mist. But we are seeing the moon a little bit. Moon looks hazy, right, Bob? Yeah, I gotta say, John, it really does on an evening like this, but so far Mother Nature has been pretty awfully nice to us, and well, she wants us to play baseball here tonight. Get the game going. Right there, ground ball straight away, up in time and short up to first to Sanabria, and that is out number 2.
Now batting, left fielder, number 80.
Well, that'll bring in the left fielder, Carneal Pratt. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Well, what are you going to do after tonight, John? Well, I think I'm going to watch some TV and eat some dinner, have a good evening. What about you? Well, I'll probably go have a good evening with my wife and stuff. Probably go out and watch a movie or whatever. Sound good? Ready for one more day tomorrow? Oh, yeah, always. Road trip to Wichita next week. That's going to be in for the coach. Strike gets the count now, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to pitch. And that is high fly in the air and foul. So still hanging on in this ball game. No balls or 2 strikes to pitch. Still hanging on. 1-0 San Antonio. Top half of the 8th inning for Corpus Christi. 0-2, here's the pitch, and that is a sweeper outside. And count now 1-2. 2,469 here at the stadium here tonight. Here's the 1-2. High in the air, foul. Good thing there's nobody sitting in the seats over there, but normally Nelson Wolf Stadium would be a packed house. But the rain we got here tonight, well, most evidently it was a pretty good misty evening for the ground, I should say. Not too bad about that. And that one's going to be right there, line drive, and that is through for a hit. Well, the runner coast in the second now after a 2-out double.
Now batting, shortstop, number 3.
Pretty good base hit right there, but most evidently a real good one. Manager coming out of the dugout now is Logan Gillespie. Looks like he's done. And Sean Boyle will be the next one in for San Antonio on the mound in relief. Oh, a pretty good one here tonight, getting going.
Now
Gillespie
pitching,
now out
number
for the
96.
missions as he'll return back to the dugout. Right-hander Sean Boyle is getting in for San Antonio as he gets going. Four-seam slider, changeup, and a cutter. Now pitching for the missions here this evening, as he'll take on Caden Powell. 2 outs, a runner on second, tying run for the Corpus Christi Hooks, and that is going to be outside, 1 ball, no strikes to Powell. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop out here tonight for Corpus Christi.
That's a ball.
And that's going to be a balk right there, and that will be 90 feet away. We got to say that will be that one right there, and the count now 1-1. And the pitch. And that's going to be right there. Liner straight away, and that is through. In to score is the runner. And we are tied at 1, as that will be a 2-out triple by Caden Powell. Run in to score. And Corpus Christi now has the tie-breaking run only 90 feet away. Boy, we're seeing some runs come in finally after some innings. The whole ball game, nearly a no-inning ball game. Walker Jeanette coming in is 0 for 2, strikeout and a pop-out. And I absolutely got to agree with you, Bob. This whole game has been scoreless thus far. And that one is downstairs. The count now 1-1. Northwest Arkansas finally unties the ball game. They'll lead it in the top half of the 8th inning, 7-4 against the Tulsa Drillers. That one is right there. The count now 1-1. Arkansas now leading against Frisco 7-0. Top of the 6th inning there. All-American Ballpark in North Little Rock, Arkansas. And that's going to be high fly in the air straight away. And Castañon gets in right field to make the play, and that ends the inning. Well-tied ball game as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. San Antonio looking to get this one untied again. And so far, that'll bring up the right-hander Sam Carlson next for Corpus Christi in relief, as they'll get things going here for the Hooks. Ready to go for the missions, bottom half of the 8th. Bottom half of the 8th inning for San Antonio right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob, and we welcome you back. 1, 2, and 3 due up against Sam Carlson, a new reliever for Corpus Christi on the hill, as he'll face off Clay Dungan, the leadoff batter, first in the bottom of the 8th. That one is right there, up to the second baseman. Throw him out at first in time, and that is one down.
Center fielder, number 2.
Well, number 2 center fielder Kai Roberts coming in is 0 for 3. Don't forget, we'll have a new premiere coming out for Picani's Movies, coming out the first of the month, so make sure you come and watch that. Episode 10. Well, man, I'll tell you, you're doing pretty good on them episodes, right, John? Yeah. Ethan Salas, 2 for 3, a double and a single here tonight for San Antonio. Going to be a busy fall as we get into the fall in September. But most evidently, Picani could get going in the filming process in August and then release episodes on the Saturday evening thereof. So how would that work out in the timing of released episodes when you get going on that? Well, Bob, I can answer that one as best as I can. I'll be at the ranch on the evening of the premiere day, and most likely when the time comes, it will be late getting off from the ranch and getting the premiere episode going for a pretty good night. But evidently 7 or 8 o'clock on that evening, that would be pretty good. Well, I don't think August would be a great idea because we'll still be in baseball season during that time. Yeah, that's for sure. You're right about that. So, no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody on. We're tied ball game as we lead it off in the top half of the 9th inning for Corpus Christi. We're deadlocked 1-1. Well, about set to go for the top half of the 9th inning right now, the Missions Baseball Network. Well, about set to go for the top half of the 9th inning, 1-1 tie in the ball game. Riley Unroe getting set to go for Corpus Christi. That one high fly in the air straight away up to the right field area as Carcathios will run it down himself for out number 1. That'll be his last time of the night coming in for Corpus Christi. Here is center fielder Lucas Spence. Here's a pitch. And that one is out of play, found. The count now at 0-1. No balls and 1 strike the count. Here's a pitch, swing and a miss. The count now 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count now to the center fielder Spence. And a pitch. That one's going to be right there. Line drive straight away up the left field for a base hit, as that will land in front of Kai Murphy.
First baseman.
And getting going here. And now the tie-breaking run is on first base. Boy, so far, a pretty good one right there. Arturo Flores, the first baseman, 0 for 3 and 3 strikeouts here tonight. Getting ready to go for Corpus Christi. Double play possibility as that is in for the cold strike. It's the count now 0-1. No balls and 1 strike the count. Here's the pitch, and that's in for a strike, and the count now 0-2. Well, we do see a hazy moon tonight as the rain's starting to let up here tonight. Not a bad night for a little water on the field, but will be definitely good for our post-game fireworks after the ball game tonight. So kids, sit back, relax, and enjoy the best fireworks show courtesy of our San Antonio Missions and West Creek Trail Rides. Third baseman Trevor Austin coming in, 1 for 3 single. That one is high fly in the air, now to play foul. The count now 0-1. There's a pitch. And that is in for a strike, and the count now 0-2. One more for Corpus Christi here in this half inning. Mission's trying to win it, and that is going to be fouled and still holding on. No balls and 2 strikes. Fans are standing up in applaud, waiting to see what will go on. Here is the payoff, and that's going to be high in the air, straightaway center, and Roberts takes it himself. Well, no runs on a hit, no errors, 1 left on for Corpus Christi. And we now head for the bottom of the 9th inning. Sanabria, Carpathios, and Fabian will lead it off in the middle half of the batting order when we come back in this one. 1-1 tie here in the Missions Baseball Network. That's it for the bottom of the ninth right now, the Missions Baseball Network. Romeo Sanabria getting ready to go. Middle half of the order against Sam Carlson will get things going. Bottom half of the ninth inning for Corpus Christi. That one right there up to second base, and that is out number one.
Number 22.
That'll bring up the right fielder, Braden Carpathios, his 1-for-3 single. From the windup and the stretch. And that's right there. Ground ball up to the third base, going to the first base area. And two quick outs here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Gotta say, John, it could be another extra innings night like it was last night. We didn't get done to the bottom of the 11th inning with San Antonio winning 7-6 last night for a Friday. Yeah, I gotta agree, Bob. That did take a very good toll on Corpus Christi, losing to a one-run ball game. Anthony Maldonado will come in. It's ERA 12 even on the spot. Strikeout at 21.2%, a 391 over a 200 will come in. Maldonado now pitching for Corpus Christi. Designated hitter is 0 for 3, strikeout here in this one. There's the 6-hole batter, Albert Fabian, also had a pop out and a ground out here in this game, is 0 for 3. Santa, a right-hander, getting ready to go in the bullpen. 2 down here in the San Antonio bottom of 9. And that's going to be right there, line drive, and that is through, 1 hit. And San Antonio has the winning run there at first base. Trying to get something going. Here's Rosemond for Dugo. And the pitch. That one is high and inside, but they're gonna contest that. So it's still gonna be upheld to a no ball, 1 strike count. Rain's starting to pick up a little bit here at the ballpark, but not too serious. Slider is downstairs, and the count now at 0-2. Winning run at first, looking in. Here's the stretch, and that is high and inside. Going at it is the left fielder, end of 9. And we have extra innings. We'll get up a stretch here tonight as we head for the 10th, and it's 1-1 tie. Well, extra innings rule. Runner will always start on second. Here is Luis Baez. Austin getting set to go on second. Baez is 0 for 3. Here's the pitch, and that is high and outside. And the count now at 0-1. Second night in a row that San Antonio got into extra innings this week. And that's a swing and a miss. The count now 0-2. Boy, if you're coming out to the ball game right now just to catch the few last minutes of the game, well, you should. And right there, called third strike. And that is out number 1. Ty Whitaker coming in is 0 for 3, strikeout fly on the ground out here tonight for the designated hitter. 6-hole batter, Ty Whitaker. Takes in a strike, and the count now 0-1. Final broadcast of the week tomorrow, 1:05 our first pitch. Gates open at high noon, so make sure you are here for one more time. And that is right there to Rosemond Verdugo. We'll pass it to Sanabria, and that is out number 2. Boy, one more out. That's what San Antonio needs, and then they get to the bottom of the 10th inning to get the winning run home from second. Left fielder, Carneal Pratt. As he comes in, here's the stretch, and that's a slider well and inside, and it's the count now 0-1. 10 more meetups of the year between these two ball clubs. Corpus Christi and San Antonio both. And that is inside for a strike, and the count now at 0-2. One game left with Corpus Christi, then it's 6 next week in Wichita. We're back on June 9th, taking on the Frisco Rough Riders. It'll be a leadoff 6 against the Texas Rangers affiliate. High in the air, straight away, and that is up to right field to Carcathios. And with that, the side is retired, so no runs on a hit, no errors, and one left. And as we hit forward now, 2 for 3. Scheduled here in the bottom of the 10th, 8, 9, and 1 due up here in this one, and that's going to be right there up to the third baseman. And that is a quick out, number 1 here in this one.
Second baseman, number 94.
Well, that'll bring up number 94, the second baseman, Marcos Castañon. Castañon getting ready to go. Swings and misses after that fastball. It's count now 0-1. Tulsa now taking the front lead 11-7 against Northwest Arkansas. Bottom half of the 8th inning there at Riverboat Field, or actually not Riverboat, but Riverboat does belong to Northwest Arkansas. DCJ Field, home of the Tulsa Drillers. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count now to Castañon, looking to win it here. That's a ground ball straight away. The ground hopper straight away up to first in time, and that is out number 2. We could see a 11th inning being prepared for us here tonight. But hopefully Clay Dungan should get the job done. 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts and 2 groundouts here for San Antonio tonight. Here's the pitch. And that one is high and outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Probably with all the rain we've been getting today, even though it's been coming down light and easy. And that's going to get down. Line drive, here he comes. And he's going to score. He takes the win. San Antonio wins it. Second walk-off of the week. By golly, that was pretty cool. And the ball game is over. That is what you call a great win for the Missions. And they take the 27th win of the season. Wow, that was spot on spectacular right there, John. What a great crowd this turned out to be, as that was the walk-off in front of 2,500 people tonight. Close one here tonight, 2-1, as San Antonio wins in the walk-off here in the bottom half of the 10th inning, which apparently pretty good. Gets a winning run home from second. Sean Boyle, the winner. Maladondo, the loss for Corpus Christi. And so far, what a night that turned out to be. One more game tomorrow between the two ball clubs. We're down to the final 10 meetups of the year between Corpus Christi and San Antonio. Got to say, a pretty good one, as that was a well-defined win for San Antonio. Boy, they lead 3.5 against Amarillo and Frisco. Midland at 23. And Corpus Christi down 22-28 here in this one, losing to San Antonio. And boy, tell you what, that was just rough around the edges. Well, it looks like Arkansas, boy, they sure are taking it against the Frisco Rough Riders. Frisco will be home next week to take on the visiting Springfield Cardinals, St. Louis affiliates. So far, it looks like they're going through a 9-inning stretch for Arkansas and Frisco, so they'll play in 9 innings, but most evidently going to be a pretty good one there at All-American Ballpark. And DCJ Field, the Drillers up 11-7 against Northwest Arkansas. Amarillo up 4-2. And boy, I tell you one thing, it's the top half of the ninth inning. The Sod Poodles getting pretty good in that one as they lead it by just 2 runs against Midland. Bronco Park, one of the best ballparks we have ever been to. And so far we look at Midland and San Antonio, and got to say the Missions will not go to Midland until close to the end of the first half in the 2026 first half South Division. Well, we'll be down to our last 3 games against Corpus Christi to lead off the second half. And then Frisco comes to town for 6. Then after the 9-game homestand, San Antonio heads to Amarillo to lead off 6 against the Sod Poodles. San Antonio will be back home to take on the visiting Springfield Cardinals right after that. Then it'll be heading off to Frisco to take on the Frisco Rough Riders in a 6-game set. Northwest Arkansas coming to town. And then it's off to Springfield, and then Midland and Amarillo to close out the regular season and the finale. But anyway, we're supposed to get our 2027 schedule coming up. And so far, going to be a pretty good one as we get things going. Well, that will be 3 outs away for Midland getting ready to go. And, well, so far, we don't go back to Midland till the first half of the season. But most evidently, we look at it, it'll be our last 6-game road trip of the year between San Antonio and the Rockhounds. Gotta love those 2 ball clubs. They run perfectly good neighbors for each other. Even though San Antonio is neighbored to Corpus Christi, and Frisco and Midland are both neighbors. Amarillo and Wichita are neighbors. Springfield and Tulsa, Arkansas, and Northwest Arkansas, pretty good neighbors, but that's most evidently pretty good. Well, anyway, we don't have anything else coming into abroad of this broadcast, but we're definitely keeping up with the scores of everybody else. It seems to me like Tulsa has that one in the bag. They will claim the first place spot. And so far, against Northwest Arkansas, Drillers win the 30th of the season. And now putting the Arkansas Travelers down to the second place. Well, they could keep up with the Arkansas Travelers, which Travelers would have this a win against the Frisco Rough Riders. That most evidently, we'll see what's going on there in Arkansas as getting ready to go. 2 teams postponed tonight, Wichita at Springfield, and so far that is really putting a hurting on Wichita and Springfield through the week of this series. It hasn't been the best weather yet, but most evidently both doubleheader games have been postponed due to the severe weather around Blue River Stadium. So far, they have been reporting lightning storms and heavy rain and even hail around the area. But for everybody's safety, they don't play during that time. But evidently it will be pretty dangerous if they did. But kind of like the time when Frisco was up in Wichita, and boy, 3-2 the score in the bottom of the third inning. And how I remember this, it was a couple years ago when we remember when that storm went through the porch, and boy, it came down heavy. Well, we head to the porch first thing after tomorrow, and so far we'll definitely check the weather forecast before we head to San Antonio, or well, before we head from San Antonio to Wichita, but we'll definitely keep the San Antonio area looking pretty good. But yeah, most evidently we'll definitely keep everything and everyone safe. Boy, 2 outs left for Midland, and so far not looking good for, well, the Rockhounds. They trail a 2-run ball game against Amarillo, and so far just not a good night for the Rockhounds. Now they are down to their final out, and so far it looks like Amarillo has officially claimed the second place position, now trailing 2.5 games back against San Antonio and stuff. So that'll put them up 25-24 for Amarillo. And then all we need is Frisco and Arkansas, which I do believe that the Travelers will win against the Rough Riders. So then it will be 30-19 for both Arkansas and Tulsa. These are two teams that are going up against some of the fiercest competitors, and all of us know that those two ball clubs in the North Division, boy, they are really going at it. Well, pretty good night here in San Antonio, and got to say, one more game before we hit the road, May 31st. And so far, got to say, one more against these two ball clubs. 10 left of the meetups between Corpus Christi and San Antonio. But how many times have I said that before? That's like, what, 4 times I said that? Well, I guess you could say 4 times, but most evidently, not even a hit, or 1 error for that matter. But most evidently, they really haven't been trying to get anything on the board, but evidently they're really struggling as through the last couple of nights there at All-American Ballpark that they've been struggling, especially. Not only has it been Frisco and Arkansas, but it's been Wichita, Springfield, Tulsa, and Northwest Arkansas. 6 ball clubs in this series alone have been rained out due to severe weather. But anyway, I will say as we conclude this evening, and so far for everybody that played here tonight, we want to just wish the best ones out there that get going. And so far San Antonio and Corpus Christi, one more time tomorrow, 1:05 our first pitch. Yes, the fireworks going as we talk in this one, and so far the after game show, 2 runs on 10 hits, no errors. Second walk-off for San Antonio as Anthony Maldonado will get the loss for Corpus Christi. Player of the game is Andrew Dahlquist as he takes the player of the game. Well, Topps player of the game, that is brought to you in part by Topps, and so far Topps has been number 1 since 2011, which that is been pretty good. Sean Boyle takes the win for San Antonio, and so far, pretty good for this guy. He has really put San Antonio's bullpen in place ahead of this ball club, and so far, pretty good. Well, Amarillo winning against Midland, a final score 4-2, and they will win the 25th. And so far, San Antonio getting trailed by 2.5 games back against Amarillo, 3 against Frisco, 4 against Midland, 5 against Corpus Christi. And so far, Hooks down in last place. Tulsa and Arkansas are tied at 30 with a foot race going on right now between the two ball clubs of the North Division. Northwest Arkansas 22 and 27. Wichita at 21 even with Springfield, and so far those two teams did not play the doubleheader tonight because of all the severe weather that's been going on in the area. But anyway, as we wrap up the after-game show, we're just so thankful that you come on in. And yes, one more game tomorrow for these two ball clubs. San Antonio will head to Wichita to take on the Wichita Wind Surge in a 6-game set. That will be the last 6-game meetup of the year between those two ball clubs, between San Antonio and the Wind Surge. And so far after that, we won't see them anymore. And so far, we'll be lucky to see them in 2027 as we get ready for another new season. Well, 2 months down as we get ready to go. I mean, after tomorrow, it'll be 2 months down of baseball. We'll be on to our 3rd month because only six months of baseball, and that's all you get. You get April through September. But in regards to the playoffs, the Final Four would go a little bit longer. And you have 4 teams that would literally go and play each other, and then 2 teams would be eliminated, leaving out the final 2. Those 2 teams will once again get going. And so far, one will win, one will go down, and that will be the player or the team that will win the championship series. But most evidently, like last year when Springfield took it against Midland, and so far a pretty good one. Well, anyway, we wish the kids and everybody a happy summer break, and for all the kids that got off of school, have a summer break, and can't wait to have back to school in August when we get ready to do that. And so far, kids can literally come out and have themselves a good time at the ball games and morning ball games. And so far, pretty good. Well, for all of us, my partner Bob and I, we say good night from San Antonio. The final 2-1. San Antonio wins the 27th.